Hey yo, what's up man, it's your boy Darkatous-Gaming over here, and what you're looking at is the MR6 versus the M1911 stats wise, but we're doing hand testing over here because this is gonna be legitimately the most disappointing thing I've ever seen when it comes to the M1911, which has never been a very strong gun before in Call of Duty for multiplayer, like a heavy hitter. But in this game, how it was looked out to be, and some YouTubers themselves make it look stronger than it is. When you honestly compare it to the MR6, like you've seen the range, how I shot him 3 times, and then look how many shots it takes over here. How do you go from 3 shots with the MR6, but you need to honestly have 5 shots with the M1911 from the same practical range? Now this is why too, because the MR6 actually has more than twice the range that the M1911 has, but then vice versa, the M1911 has more power, slightly, almost to 50% of power. But from what I know, honestly, I'm pretty sure that that would not really fully matter unless the person has been slightly damaged, but then to that extent it would only take what, like 1 extra shot, or even the same amount of shots for the MR6 anyways. And to be completely honest, it just does not make this gun very viable. Now headshots or body shots, I did this thing before, but I only included the pretty much straightforward gameplay that you can see right there to compare the shots. I basically found no difference for a headshot multiplier or anything. They were still dropping down. My little brother and our Cantos person who's helping me, they were both dropping down very significantly similar. Now I just did like these shots over there you seen very spammy because I wanted to show how it would look if you're trying to actually kill a person legitimately. Over here it takes 6 shots, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this M1911, I don't want to say it needs a buff or anything, but it does need at least something more than just that slightly more inch of flinch that it has over the MR6, because that really does not do anything in special regards. Now, give or take, honestly, the best way to use this gun, and especially if you're going against somebody 1v1 with the MR6. With the MR6, by the way, that's the long barrel effects, like it's slightly increased, and I'm showing you over here, like walking the distance about the 4-shot range the most dramatically, but it's not really that well received, honestly. Like, you can kill and get double kills and stuff if you play smart and very tactical with this gun, but you could do the same thing with the MR6, to be honest, and have more ammo in reserve, and also just have longer distance. So this is like, the gun gets outclassed, and it's so rare to get that I had to get it off a weapon bribe. And then we have the fact that basically it gets outclassed no matter what way you want to look at it, because yes, a little bit more power and stats is actually like good, but sometimes that does not translate to actually being legit straight out damage, as you've seen in the past with guns. It could mean it has a little bit more flinch, as this I know has, pushes you back a little bit more, makes your screen a little bit bloodier, maybe more penetration power, which is probably what I'm gonna bet it has, but it's really not that much better than the MR6. If anything, it's lacking, and it's going to get crapped on by the MR6 unless you're gonna like be using it slightly closer and are actually landing your shots and not missing your shots, because with this gun you do not want to miss your shots, the M1911 of course, but with the MR6 it's more forgiving due to it having more ammo on the magazine, and especially dual wield. Now here's where I get the lefty and the M1911 just to show you guys, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. This gun is not very good in my opinion if you really want to get something that's worth your time. And over here we're gonna transition to some other gameplay, so I can keep continuing this talk with you guys about the M1911 versus the, you know, MR6. But this gun is not honestly up to task if you want to compare it to the MR6. Hell, in the 3-point range or the 3-shot range, it gets easily dominated if you land your shots with the marshals, dual wield or not dual wield, most likely. you will crap on this person if you have the marshals, like I do actually, coincidentally enough. But the MR6, it's honestly just that gun for like people who got that trigger finger. But when you use the M1911, it's gonna feel like a major downgrade to one of those guns like the MR6 that if you know how to tap that trigger finger and actually are very lethal with this gun, you will dominate lobbies, you will dominate games. But it's really honestly hard to say, or really difficult, because like when you see the stats and when you see how they compare this and all that stuff, they made this gun a little bit sometimes sound, some of the YouTubers too, like it was the greatest gun in the whole wide world. Now let me tell you something right now. This gun, if it can't even compete with the MR6, and I don't mean like compete in a sense that it's gonna slightly be down below from it, but like the range, how it got dropped, it's really what honestly kills it too. It's mostly the range, and it was already somewhat bad enough that you had the lack of ammunition, 7 bullets compared to having 20 with the MR6 that does more range, so it actually gets more 3-shot kills. So if you translate that in multiplayer, in real life multiplayer, I tell you this from experience, you're going to have to legit those 2 shots, you basically have to use the whole clip to kill a person and then reload again to kill another person. If they lined up, maybe you can actually pull it off, but let me tell you something right now, it is so unlikely to honestly go in a rampage if you are not constantly moving around and basically taking cover with the M1911 compared to what you can do with the MR6. You can go in a room, take care of 2-3 dudes and back out and reload quicker, but still you can actually like leave that area more defensed. You can actually still take care of the enemy, but with the MR6 most likely you will, I mean not the MR6, the M1911, you will have to, no doubt, reload your gun. And I wanted to make this gameplay mostly about the MR6 or M1911 multiplayer, but to be honest, since I didn't get any more multiplayer gameplay of either, what you're watching right now is what we're gonna basically have to go off while I get this commentary. But other than that, basically what you need to keep in mind if you get this gun, it's not necessarily the worst gun in the world, but it is not honestly by any means to the stretch of your imaginations. It is not compared, or it's not gonna outgun the MR6. The M1911, the only range that I've seen that it can actually do this, and that's if you're not missing your shots, and especially if you don't have a dual wield, which is the last attachment. So well, yeah. But if you want to honestly be effective with the M1911, you're gonna have to be more a little bit strategic and campy sometimes. You might honestly have to make sure that if your accuracy cannot be in point and you actually happen to sense that or know that, don't even go for that gunfight. Use your primary weapon or something like that. It's more of the gun that you can actually finish off your opponents, kind of like how it technically been in most Call of Duties compared to the MR6, which is a monster of a gun that kind of like guns in Modern Warfare 2, that burst weapon honestly could actually finish off opponents, or really compare it more to the Black Ops 2 guns. That's where it falls, the MR6 and secondaries for like status, prestige, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It falls into the point that you can use like a primary itself. But the M1911 or 1911s in this game, honestly, it's more of a disappointment downgrade when you really think about it. And it's not bad by any stretch of the imaginations, but it's more of a gamble, and you have to land most to all of your shots to not actually get destroyed and basically get your ass whooped in any game like that. You have to be legitimately so precise that it's not even funny. Like, most people do not have that kind of aim that if you miss 1, 2, 3 shots, honestly, it's okay. In this gun, you cannot miss more than 2 shots out of the 7 bullets, and if you have 14, which is basically what you get with the extended mag, it's a little bit more forgiving, but it's somewhat not more forgiving if you're actually using it with like 2 people in front of you and you actually have to kill them. Most likely, the best way you want to do this, if you're not going to and you don't want to use a dual wield, long barrel and extended mags. I know the reload is going to be crap, and fast mag would help a lot with that, but to be honest, you need to anyways like scavenge around, or basically for ammunition, of course, for scavenger, you need to dip out of situations more, and you need to learn to actually fight another day with this kind of gun, because trust me when I say this, you are not going to like the result if you go into a gunfight Yahoo in it. But what I'm gonna end this video is right now, or at least the commentary part, you will honestly have a terrible time if you're not accurate and know how to not lose too many shots and land most of your shots, if not all. You will have a less pleasant time with the M1911 in multiplayer than you would actually have with the MR6, which is honestly very bad. But the real reason they most likely did this M1911 in the first place is so they can put it and integrate it into zombies after Zombies Chronicles. But now that they have Zombies Chronicles and they were basically trying to just put the thing out and now gonna do it in a title update, that's really when the M1911 is gonna be honestly loved again. But let me tell you right now, this gun is so disappointing that I don't think I would use this gun unless if it's a challenge. Like, I still have that pick up play game. You know, it's like basically like when you pick somebody's classes, how other YouTubers they call it I play your way, like elite shot and all that stuff, but I like to have it a little bit of a title. If anybody picks a class for me which involves the M1911, that's really the most likely only way you're gonna see gameplay of this thing. But compared to the MR6, you will honestly get destroyed every single game, no matter what you do and no matter what you honestly try to do. That is the real situation that you're facing with when you're facing anybody that has the MR6 or even the Marshals. The thing is honestly more of a hit marker machine than it needs to be. But if you enjoy this commentary, if you enjoy this entirely, honestly, I hope you did, and let me know down below your opinion of this gun, and I would basically like to hear how you would use it, and if you have it too, I want to hear basically what you think of this gun yourself. This is honestly my opinion and from what I've gathered of using the gun and leveling it up completely. But maybe you're actually more of a sharpshooting person and you can actually not miss that many bullets, so it could be a very good gun to you. But I want to basically leave it at there and hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. It's been your boy Darkatous,